Alright, dude, level with me here. What's the deal with these life coaches? These super young people popping up on YouTube, and it's like, or TikTok or Instagram, and they always claim to be life coaches. Like, dude, what the fuck do you know about life? What do you know about coaching? And how do you think you're qualified to be coaching anybody? And a lot of these people are like 20 years old, maybe, or like 25 years old. And they're like, yeah, look, I'm a life coach. It's like my specialty is in like energizing or healing or some crap or manifesting. There's a lot of manifesting going on. It's like, what the hell's the deal with that, dude? Okay, how the hell do you just sit down and say, oh, I'm gonna have money coming to me, I'm gonna have a lot of money coming to me, I'm gonna meet a great man, I'm gonna have a good job, I'm gonna have a fantastic life? How does saying those words make those things come to you? Like, how does that even compute in their heads? It doesn't make any sense. No, don't get me wrong, right? I'm all about positive thinking. I'm all about not beating yourself down. You know, I'm all about being positive and being, take control of your life and all that good stuff. That's totally fair. But how does manifestation even become a thing? How does that even a thing? And it's like, yes, think positive for sure. But how does that even like a something that you need to teach people how to do? I just, it doesn't make any sense to me. And it's like a lot of these people, right? They have no real life experience, and they haven't even worked a real job in their entire lives, and yet they claim to be able to coach people and teach people how to get success. How? In what world are these people qualified to teach anybody anything? I don't think you even want these people in junior kindergarten teaching the little kids how to read, let alone teaching people how to succeed in their life. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? I'm sure there are people who are very successful at a very, very young age. You know, it's like maybe billionaires at age 25. Sure. I don't deny there are people like that. But I feel like with those people, they have some extremely special skills that they tend to possess, or they have some extremely special abilities, or they're savants of some kind in some areas that people deem valuable, or they're just born to a really rich family, maybe. You know, like, I don't know. Dude. But those people, I don't think they have the real general easily applicable life skills for people who can learn from them, because they just say, you know what, I'm just really good at whatever. I'm just really good at computer science or programming or whatever. I've invented this whole AI new way to solve AI or whatever. And they just happen on it, right? It's like asking Einstein, how did he come up with the whole relativity thing? It's because it's him, right? He doesn't have really anything that's generally applicable to normal people. All right, let's talk to Mother Mion, because I forgot to record the entire duty, man. I'm so sorry. Welcome back. Yeah, Deep Craft was a success, nor did I expecting anything less. You made such a habit of succeeding that it's difficult not to take your talents for granted. Rest assured, however, Mother is impressed, even if she isn't surprised. Lord Lewin asked me to pass on his thanks. I must say, something of a relief to be able to call upon such a capable adventurer. What other adventuring do you have me do? Sadly, death has become an ever more common occurrence within our fraternity of late. Times being what they are, the guild is constantly inundated with petitions, and we're hard-pressed to find enough hands to deal with all of them. While this means no shortage of work for able souls such as yourself, it also provides ample opportunity for the inexperienced to overreach themselves with predictable consequences. As if to illustrate the point. What happened? Oh, these are new adventurers? What are these guys? Amir's gone, and it's all your fault. And if it hadn't taken you an age to heal him, he would still be alive. But I tried. He bolted out of range before I could finish the spell. He shouldn't have been so hard-pressed in the first place. We should have done more to lighten his burden. Bah! To the hells with this pathetic excuse for a party. I'm leaving. And it'd be too soon if I never see your face again. Bye, and good riddance. Lava. I'm leaving as well. I doubt this come as any surprise, but I never liked you. I only suffered you for your healing, but you couldn't even do one thing right. Cruel enough. Cruel though this may sound, you brought this upon yourself. Oh, and by the way, some parting advice. Get rid of Ivan's head. Bury it, creme it, do whatever the hell you like with it. But for the God's sake, stop carrying it around. It's just get rid of it, alright? Wait, don't leave me alone, please. Aw, I'm so sorry, Avir. Please forgive me. Aw. Oh well. That's life sometimes. Scenes like this have become all too common. That makes 12 times in half as many days. Oof. Now you see why I'm grateful for adventurers of your experience that can send women like you on a mission without worrying that you might not return. Well, not so much at any rate. Speaking of missions, we entrust you with another. Okay. About a bell ago, how long is that? I received a message from my counterpart in Oda. She seeks the service of a reliable adventurer, and you're nothing if not reliable. More than reliable, might I add. If you think you might be interested in the stack, say the word, and we'll be glad to share the details with you. Please do, right? Oh, wait a minute. This one actually covers up the chest area. Okay, that's nice. I think she looks great in this armor. Alright, let's speak to Mother Mion. I swear to God, I never knew how to pronounce her name. Take a little trip. Mentioned before, you gotta go to Uda, seek out Mamadi, the proprietress of Quicksand, Sultaness version of myself. Chances she'll send you into the midst of danger, but I have every confidence that you will pull through unscathed. Now off you go, Verna, and good luck. I guess we must take the airship there, eh? Alright, let's go. Yeah, and these life coaches, dude, it's like they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. And a lot of them are just, well, at least the ones I've seen, right? They either do something really unrealistic, like, oh yeah, all you need to do to be successful is wake up at 4 a.m., do 25 different jobs at the same time, and then make a shit ton of money, and then you'll be successful. Boom. Easy. Simple. What's so hard about it? I was like, dude, I feel like those who are really successful don't need to teach other people how to be successful. Alright, let's go. Lift attendant. Take me to Quicksand. Or, I have no idea what that is. That the strip? Hustings strip? The Steps of Thaw. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Nice carpet. Love a nice carpet. Yeah, and I feel like anybody who is successful don't need to teach other people how to be successful. And anybody who are teaching other people to be successful and is successful is being asked by other successful people to be more successful. That's a lot of successfuls in a very short sentence. And speaking of that, actually I used to read a lot of self-help books. Well, not a lot, but I read some. And I heard about this guy called Jerry Goldsmith. I think it's Jerry Goldsmith if I'm not wrong. But I will post the link down below if you are interested in reading up on the material. Hey, Momodi, welcome to Quicksand. Friend, I'm that busy right now. If you wouldn't mind showing yourself to... Judging by the determined expression, I take it that you aren't here for ale. Are you called Renophobia by any chance? Yep, that's me. Mion sent word that you'd be reporting for duty. She also made a point of calling you the adventurer of the moment. That ain't so no small praise coming from her. But you didn't come all the way to listen to my prattle. Doubtless you're eager to get started, so let's talk business. Cool, let's do it. Let's talk business. I'm all about business, bro. Oh, that business. Business be businessing. Petitioner out to arrive any moment now. Gods almighty, another second under that sun, I would have been set afire. A tankard of ale, if you would be so kind. Papa Shan? I love the stash. Excellent timing, Papa Shan. It just so happens the adventurer who will be handling your petition is here. Oh, great. So this winsome lass is much lauded adventurer, is she? Marvelous, marvelous. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, milady, and Papa Shan, formerly of the Sultan's Warn. I thank you for agreeing to lend us your aid. Mayhaps you'd like to appraise Verna for her mission? A prize, sorry. Of course, the petition in question was submitted by an acquaintance of mine at Amagina and Sons Mineral Concern. It relates to an unfortunate development at the Copperbell mines. To be plain, giants have seized control of the place. Oh, that doesn't sound good. The crash doesn't sound good either. The giants of the clan known as the Hekatoncheres, fearsome creatures who were sealed within the deepest depth of the mine during the bygone Throne Dynasty. Alas, it seemed they managed to break through the layer of rock which served as to imprison them, and now prowl the tunnels where the miners ply their trade. The creatures justifiably angry about their treatment at the hands of the ancestors, but, and their presence forced suspension of all mining activity on the site. No wonder they're angry. Didn't the Throne Dynasty come to an end over 300 years ago? So they've been trapped in there for 300 years? That sucks. History well. People that age used to Hekatoncheres to work their mines, but away to enchanted helms. They were able to bind the ferocious creature to their will, but as it oft the way in such tales, these enchantments eventually failed and slaves rose up against their masters. Of course. In a desperate bid to contain the unbridled fury of the Hekatoncheres, our ancestors induced the collapse of the mine's lowermost level. So it was that the great giant revolt was ended, buried beneath hundreds and thousands tons of rock. Wow, now that got me thinking. I recall there be an article about Copperbell in the Mithril Eye a fortnight or so ago. It said the mine were being reopened as so to meet rising demand of building materials. Like as not, our boys dug a little bit too deep to free the giants. Gosh, to think the poor creature's still alive and kicking after 3 centuries. That's a long time to nourish a grudge. They must be seething. Indeed, and that makes them dangerous to us all. There's no mining at Copperbell so long as they remain. For the sake of both peace and prosperity, they must be subdued. And this is a task that which we can only have you undertake. I'm not denying the mission will be rife with danger, but our needs is great, and so I beg you, put an end to the sorry business. Okay, fine, we'll do it. God bless you. I fear you might have reservations, but I assure you it is for the best. That's what you think. Sure, I'm sure you think that way. In case you don't know, Copperbell is Western Thanala. Do take care, you hear? And one last thing before you depart. An employee of Amagina and Sons is presently at the quicksand. The fellow's name is Painted Mesa, and he knows Copperbell man well, and it may behoove you to seek his counsel. Okay, sure. Sounds like fun. Oh, there he is. Look, he's right there. Painted Mesa. What you got for me? So adventurer who volunteered to deal with the mess. Yep. Got the gutsmiths. Left the place in the right state. Yeah, they're bad. I don't know if you know this, but Copperbell was old when the second old dynasty was still young. It was abandoned centuries ago. Now had been shortage of material needed to the rebuilding effort. The concern would never have thought to reopen it. We knew full well the giants beforehand, but the project went ahead anyway. I mean, nothing could possibly survive being buried under a mountain worth of rock for 3 centuries, right? Wrong. Our miners dug up more than they bargained for. One swing of the pickaxe too many. They found themselves in company with giants. Unless we can subdue them, the nation's glorious recovery will grind to a halt and want of all to build with. The stone torches keeping watch over the entrance in case the giant fancies some sunlight and fresh air. One of them will be able to show you the way in. The hope in the nation's resting on you, friend. Best of luck. No pressure at all, huh? No pressure. Don't worry. Don't even worry about it. Don't even stress about it. Alright, we gotta go touch the big crystal, don't we? Yeah, let's go touch the big crystal and then we head out that way. And yes, so the self-help book. And I feel like those books will be better than any of those self-proclaimed life coach on YouTube or Instagram or anything like that. So basically his idea, I think the book was called What Got You Here Won't Get You There, I think. And one of the most poignant stories for me that really helped me see things in a different perspective is he told us one story. So, well, actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's talk about Marshall Goldsmith. The way he works, right? He doesn't charge by the hour. So most of the the quote-unquote life coaches charges by the hour or session. It's like however much money for a session, and whether or not you learn anything, they don't give a shit. But the way he does it, at least the way he describes it anyway, and then he saw so many high-profile people, I think whatever he says must have some merit to it. Otherwise, he will be probably a pariah in the industry. So the way he does it is that whenever he helps someone, like an executive or anything like that, or like an athlete or any sort of high-level performers, what he does is he always points out, or let the person being helped appoint 2 to 3 people that are stakeholders in this particular executive being better. For example, if it was like an executive of a company, perhaps he can appoint other board members to be the stakeholders, right? Or maybe somebody who's an executive who wants to change their family life, he or she can perhaps make their family members the stakeholders, right? And the way it works is that only when the stakeholders all agree that whoever was being coached has changed sufficiently to achieve what they set out to achieve, then and only then will Marshall Goldsmith get paid. So that way it kind of decouples what he does with the executive from the actual teachings, so we can actually isolate just the result. So only when the results are in, only when the result worked, and only when the executive has changed will Marshall Goldsmith get paid. And I feel like when you do something like that, you can have somebody else say, hey, yes, I think you did a good job, this person has changed, then he must know something because he can do something like that, right? Anyway, so in this book, I feel like the most important story for me was one story he told of this executive complaining to Marshall Goldsmith and saying, oh, I hate when my wife was swirling ice in her cup. It was like that clinging sound of ice hitting the glass. He got really upset. He's like, I hate that sound. I hate it. I worked all day, so tired. When I get home, I just want peace and quiet. I don't want to be hearing those ice clinking sound all over the place, And he got really upset. I don't know why he got so upset about that. I don't think it's just that. There's just more to it, right? But then Goldsmith asked him, okay, that's great. That's a good story. What do you want her to do about it? Do you not want her to drink water? Do you not want her to have ice in her cup? What is it? He's like, no, she can do whatever she wants, but I just hate it. I was like, okay, that's great. I mean, what are you gonna do about it, right? And then the Goldsmith then asked the executive, do you do the same thing at work? Would you yell at a subordinate if they had a cup of water with ice in it? Would you yell at a subordinate if you are tired and upset? Would you do it? He's like, no, I would never do something like that. That would be extremely unprofessional. And then Goldsmith let that sink in for a bit, right? And then he said, okay, then does that mean when you're at home, when you're with the people that you care the most, when you're with people who are very important to you, you can be you don't have to be a professional then? Right? So then I think then the executive gets a swelling in his eyes, and he's got almost got tears in his eyes, right? I should just stay well away. Yeah. Oh, you're the adventurer? Yes, I want to help. Papa-chan will be able to find something so quickly, if at all. Enter I will. So now we got another duty, right? So we got a new duty. Fantastic. Let's do it. Oh yeah, we'll do the same thing with NPCs. NPCs is always better. Let's do it. Comments. So that almost brought a tear to his eyes, and then he understood. And I understood, actually. I think it's a really good example that when you're looking at it from the outside, and then you say, okay, even when you're at home, when we think this is our home, this is our sanctuary, we can be whatever we want to be, we can be whoever we want to be at home, there's nobody else to judge us. And if you're single, by all means, do it. If you're alone at home, there's nobody else You're not gonna bother anybody else. There's nobody judging you or anything like that. There's nobody you're responsible for. Go for it. By all means, be who you are. Do whatever the hell you want. But when you're a father or a boyfriend or a husband or anything like that, then you gotta think about, hey, there are people that I am responsible for. There are people that I care about. There are people that are important to me. And there are people that relies on me. And these are the people I need to be a professional for, right? I mean, it may be a little bit counterintuitive where you say, oh, what do you mean by being professional at home? How does that work? And I thought about that. I was like, you know what? It's like this. When we are at work, right? When you're at work, when you listen to your boss, when you participate in team activities, or when you're dealing with people, say, for example, that are on your team, and they say, oh yeah, let's do that, let's do this, let's get together and get into a meeting or decide what to do or figure out what to do, or you got to do like some training courses and whatnot, right? These are the situations that we never question these. And it's like, yeah, this is work, this is normal, this is what we do, right? Nobody says, oh yeah, you're so strange for listening to your boss, oh, you're so weird, why are you deciding to work with your team? Nobody says that. So then when we at home, when we say, hey, look, my wife wants to do this and I gotta do this, or I want to figure out to be like a better father, be a better husband, and people are like, oh, what do you mean? Are you not good enough? Do they not accept you for who you are? Do they not know who you are? Do they want to change you? What is this, right? And it feels a little weird because it's maybe a little bit more personal, maybe a little bit more. It feels like it's an indictment of you as a person. And when you're at work, it's more like, oh yeah, this is just work. This is not me. This is work. So there's a little bit of a separation there, and it's a lot easier to accept. But I feel like at the same time, right? You know how Bruce Lee said, "Be water, my friend," and be the change. Be water. What does he mean by that, right? He says, you gotta change all the time. You gotta be something. You gotta change. You gotta adapt to the situation that you're given, right? And we always want to be better people, right? We always want to be better. We always want to improve. We always want to be, nobody wakes up and say, oh, you know what? I really want to do a bad job at work. Oh, I really want to do a terrible thing today, or I really feel like I can be a worse person today. And nobody wakes up and says something like that. So why don't we feel the same about our family lives or our home lives, right? We can always be better at being a husband, being a boyfriend, being a father or a mother or whatever, right? We can always do better. So why is it so outrageous to say, hey, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, these are the giants. Oh my goodness. Right? Why is it so outrageous that, hey, can we be a better father? Can we be a better husband? Can we be a better boyfriend? Can we be a better girlfriend? Whatever it is, right? Even if it's more personal, And I feel like people probably resistant to it because it feels like changing themselves for somebody else. Like, sure, I mean, it may feel like that way, right? And I've been there. I've been there to feel like, oh, I don't want to change me. They should accept me for who I am. Why should I change who I am for them? But then the other thing is, right, any time that we decide to change, or any changes we want to make, there is no person out there that can make us do the things that we don't want to do. Does that make sense? I mean, we live in a free country. I assume, United States, Canada, any sort of Western country. We don't live in like a communist country. We don't live in Russia or China or anything like that where they can force you to do things that you don't want to do. I mean, in our societies, nobody can force us to do anything we don't want to do. Well, unless it's the cops, but that's a different story, and that's not the point, right? But like any normal situations, we're not being forced to do things we don't want to do. So, changing who you are, or being better, or becoming better, is something that we must decide that we want to do. We want to do it to be a better person, to be a better father, to be whatever better. And what do we mean by better too? Better just means that we benefit people. We benefit others. We benefit more people. We make more people's life more improved. And that's what I mean by better. So we can say, oh, you know what? If I become better, then whoever that lives with me will have a better time, will have an easier life, and they will be happier. And in turn, they may want to make us a little bit happier as well. So it's what is it called? A good cycle? What's it called? You know, like a virtuous cycle. And that improves the lives of everybody affected. And that's really, I feel like the ultimate goal for us, right? We want to make sure that anybody that we meet are enriched by our presence. And we can only do that by thinking about, are we being the best person we can be? And I feel like then we need to think about it like, hey, are we being professionals? Are we being a professional father? Are we being a professional boyfriend? Are we being a professional husband? Are we being a professional girlfriend? You know, all of this stuff. You know, like when he says being a professional, doesn't mean like, oh yeah, you need to do this as a living or anything like that. He means more like, are you paying attention to it? Are you consciously thinking about improving what it is that you're doing? Are you consciously thinking about putting into effort to do whatever it is that you're doing? Even though being, let's say, a father or a friend or anything that we think as a more personal interaction feels a little bit more intuitive, a little bit more emotional, a little bit more personal, right? A little more a softer kind of skill, right? But these things need to be considered as well in order to improve it, right? And then talking about changes too, like I know when I was younger, right, I always thought, you know what, I don't want to change myself. I don't want to become somebody else. This is me. This is who I am, right? I'm not changing for anybody. And it's like, yeah, that I feel like it's a fairly juvenile way of thinking. Wait, so do we touch this blast device? It doesn't work without fire sand in the chamber. Oh, so we take this fire sand and then we throw it in the chamber, right? Let's go do that. Holds 12 ounces of fire sand. Okay, so we need 6 more ounces. Oh, it's over here. Let's grab that. Okay, let's put it in. Let's put in the 12 ounces of fire sand. Yes. Great. And then let's step back and get behind me. Yeah. Push the device. Push it. Hell yeah. Kaboom. Oh, nice. Holy crap, what is that? That guy looks serious, dude. Screaming dark. Kotos? Hello, Kotos. Hey, buddy. How you doing? What's that? Oh, shit. Remove the skill. Alright, whatever. Right now I feel like, you know, I don't want to change for somebody else. I don't want to become somebody else. And that's not what it's about, right? It's really about, like... And speaking of change, really, change is normal. And change happens all the time. And we never really complain about it when things like, say, for example, when trees grow. So why did this tree change? Or when flowers bloom. So why did this flower change? We never complain about that. And then I remember in Ratatouille, there's a scene in front of the rat poison shop. Remy was talking to his dad. And then it's like Remy wanted to be a chef or anything like that, or something like that, right? And then his dad was like, you can't change nature. The nature is that we're rats, we can't be chefs. And then Remy's like, change is nature, Dad. Nature is about change. We need to change, and we're always changing. We're constantly changing, but we never really pay attention to it. Like, are you the same person as you were when you were born? Obviously not, because you couldn't speak when you were born. You couldn't walk when you were born. Do you still want to say, if you were a child, I don't want to change. I want to just be peeing and pooping in my diapers and never have to speak a word in my life. No, we don't think about it that way. But we then, as we grow, as we mature, as we get to know ourselves a little bit better, we form in our heads the idea of us. This is who we are, and this is the idea of who we are. And we're kind of like, because we live with such a long time, when we sort of set in a way that we think, oh, this is us, and we don't really think about how we can change or be somebody else or be better. But I feel like it's worthwhile once in a while to think, am I being the best version of myself? Can I be better? Can I improve something about myself? You know, I used to have really bad temper, and I used to have very little patience to deal with people. And then I remember one time my girlfriend got really upset, my wife now, my girlfriend at the time, got really upset at me. And she was like, if you treat me this way again, I'm leaving. I'm not sticking around for this. It's not worth it. I was like, dude, that was really powerful moment for me. I was like, okay, yeah, I gotta decide what I want to do. Do I want to change me, or do I want to lose potentially somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with? I was like, dude, I gotta change. I need to change myself. I need to change the way I deal with these people. I need to change my temper. I need to make sure I don't get this way again. You know, I used to be very scathing in my replies, or very dismissive in my, shall we say, lack of understanding. So I get very dismissive. If she asks me questions like, oh, you don't know this? Or when she's like, she wants to do something, I was like, oh, why even do that? That's not worth it. Just very dismissive, very narcissistic in a way, you know? So when she said that, she got really upset. She was crying. That really opened my eyes, and I was like, okay, I'm not doing what's working for us. I'm not doing what's working for her. And either I change or I lose something in my life. I lose something that could potentially be very, very important to me. And I've decided, you know what, I'm going to change. I'm going to change for the better. And because it's worth it for me, right? Because I wanted to change. And that's another thing, right? We were talking about how nobody else can make you change, not in the Western world anyway. Change can only come within, not from without. So it's almost like that movie Inception, where they need to make the decision to change themselves. They can plant a seed, they can plant an idea, but they need to walk themselves through the process of changing that idea. And I feel like it's the same thing for us. That when we change, we can't change if we don't want to change. Right? It's like hypnosis. It doesn't work if you don't want to participate in it. So change doesn't work if you don't want to change. Only when you decide, hey, I want to change. I want to change something. I want to change something about myself. I want to be a better person. Only then can you decide, hey, I can change myself. And in that case, is it a bad thing to change? It's an improvement. Is that bad? It's like, you know, we need to think about it. It's not always about, oh, I'm being me, and me is great, and I don't want to change anything about me. I'm perfect. That I feel like it's a very narcissistic way of thinking about your life, our lives. It's really important to think, can we make things better? Can we improve things for ourselves and others around us? You know, mainly we want to do things for the people we care about, right? Like if you somebody that you don't care about, you don't really care what they think. Oh wow, a tourist here. Okay, hey Blob, what's up, Blob? So yeah, so the change, right? And I feel like with life coaching, right, these people, they're just like manifesting some bullshit. Some like, oh yeah, if you chant this 10 times a day and do it for 4 weeks, you will have money come your way. That's not life coaching, dude. That's just some bullshit, some voodoo, fucking suspicious bullshit. Like real life coaching is much, much harder. And I feel like if you want to improve your life, give Marshall Goldsmith a read. It may help you. Like even if you're like none of us, I'm not an executive. I'm not a C-level executive. I'm not a highly successful person. But I feel like I learned something from that. And I feel like it's always good to read things or learn things from a different perspective. To say, oh, I didn't think of this thing this way, and now that I thought about it this way, it opened up my eyes, right? Because we're so set in our way of thinking, we're so set in the way that we used to, we don't really think about it if what we're used to is correct or not. We just think, this is how it is, this is how it always been, and this is how it will keep going. But is that really the best way to approach life? So sometimes reading a little bit of self-help book really help just give us a new perspective. And sometimes that's all we need to incite a change within ourselves. And sometimes that change could really lead to good things. And I feel like that change is a lot better than just, oh, yeah, all you need to do is just manifest. All you need to do is just chant this phrase for 10 hours a day. Making a real, substantial change and improve your life is much more important than just reciting some words or waking up at 4 a.m. Waking up at 4 a.m. doesn't do jack shit if you don't take advantage of that time. And how are you going to take advantage of time if you don't change your perspective or change your thinking? Again, these are just my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me, and I would love to hear your opinions if you disagree. Alright, let's plug that in. Yep, and let's oh, whoops, what am I doing? Just get out of the way, dude. Oh. Alright, cool. Oh, what is this? And then anytime we decide to change, right? And that means we're changing from within ourselves. It's not like we're changing because somebody else forced us to do it. And that will incite a long-lasting change. And if you change for somebody else instead of because somebody else, it's like, oh, I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this because of, I'm doing this for you because you want me to change. It's not because I want to change. In those cases are really, really bad. You should think about that again. You should rethink that. Think that hard and through why you're doing this. If you're doing this for somebody else, that a lot of times generates a lot of resentment. And especially if things don't work out well, then it becomes a blame game. It's like, look, I did this for you and you're not happy? What is this? Why did I do all of this for you? Then it becomes like, you're just blaming somebody else for doing something, and then it doesn't really either it doesn't promote a long-lasting change, or it promotes a lot of resentment, and it even promotes like a slip back to even worse than what it was before. Let's say, for example, gambling, right? Let's take a really bad example. If you gamble, right, and then your wife's like, oh yeah, I would really like you not to stop gambling. And you're like, okay, fine, I'll make the change for you. And you say, you know what? Okay, cool. Let me do my change. Let me change for you. And then maybe you're just like, oh, she got upset, she left, or she left you, let's just say. And you got really upset. Oh, look, all these things I did for you, and you still leave me? Like, what is this? I really hate you now. And that doesn't go well. And that kind of changes your life, and it really messes with how you think about things, I think. But if you decide to change because of somebody else, let's say the same case. Let's just say you gamble. I'm not saying you are that, right? But let's just say that. And you say, you know what? I want my life to be better. I want my wife and family to be better. I want them to be happy. So I'm gonna change because of these people, because I want them to be better. Then I feel like that change is going to be a little bit more long-lasting, maybe more than just a little bit. And also, even if things don't work out, you can say, hey, you know what? I tried my hardest, and I really wanted things to work, and I really did it. I tried really hard, and did it because of you, because I want you to have a better life, and because I want you to have a better life for you, or with you. Then I feel like that doesn't generate as much resentment as just doing something for somebody else, you know? So that inception idea, that change coming from within, takes away your ability to blame it on somebody else. And I feel like that's really important. Like, we should always take control of our own lives, and never should we blame somebody else because we did something. And we always have a choice, unless they have a gun to your head. That's a different story, but unless they have a gun to your head, we always have a choice. There's always another choice. There's always something that we can do to improve the situation instead of letting it fester and get worse. But again, that's just my 2 cents, and I always thought about this. And I had a really tough time with one of my jobs and some tough difficulties through my career. And that really gave me a lot of time to think about what I want, why I do something, why we do things, and how family comes into all of this. So with that, I just felt like, we're friends, right? We're friends here. I'm gonna talk to a friend about it, and maybe listening to my story can help you improve your life a little bit. Maybe it can help you learn. Oh, look, the way Michael did it was not great, so I'm not gonna do it that way, and I'm gonna do it some other way. And again, like I said, right, just seeing perspectives, seeing different perspectives from different people that have different life experiences, and some life experience will really resonate, and some will not as much. So hearing a story that may have the same undertone, the same slave no more, free, Dobby is free. Jesus Christ, whoa. That's a big weapon, holy crap. That's some nice deltoids, dude. Big shoulders, big shoulders. Cold throne. Dude, I love these crystals. They're so pretty. Gygus the Great. Okay, let's do it. Not so great now. Hey. Alright. But yeah, as I was saying. Whoa, what is this? Oh, gotta run close. I was saying, right? Hearing different perspective, hearing story from different people, sometimes they will create different resonances. Sometimes this person's story doesn't really resonate, but sometimes another story resonates better, right? And it's all about just hearing these experiences from people that were really... Sometimes we just need somebody else to either confirm that, hey, look, what you're feeling is right, or what you're feeling is absolutely wrong, you need to change. We just need somebody to tell us. And we're human. We're not perfect. None of us are perfect. There's always something that we can do better. There's always something that we can improve upon. It's like owning a house. There's always some stuff you need to do. You need to fix the roof, mow the lawn, take out the trash. The same thing with our lives. There's always stuff to do. There's always things that we need to learn about ourselves. Maybe there's school that we need to go back to. Maybe there's people that we need to treat better. Always something to improve. And that's the only way, I think, to have a good life. It's like you're just in a constant state of improving, a constant state of bettering ourselves. And we're never like a finished piece of work, right? We're never finished. We always, hey, I can do better in this. I can do better in that. I can learn to control my temper better. I can learn to be less sarcastic. I can learn to be more attentive. I can learn to pay more attention to my wife or friends or husband. There's always something we can do. And I feel like that's a real lesson in life that we don't get taught a lot. In school, you're always told, yeah, just do the homework. Do your homework, finish up your exams, get a good grade. But yet they never say, hey, are you being the best person you can be? Ta-da! Oh yeah. Boom. We did it. Nice. Oh, dude, I love the skirt. It's beautiful. Yay. Fantastic. Ooh. Another bow action. What is it? Straight acquire. Enhanced quick shot. Plunder king. Dude, I need to get a better bow, man. What's the deal? Give me a better bow. Fantastic, we did it. Hell yeah. Alright, now we need to report back to the painted mesa. Let's go touch this stone here. Yeah, and then we'll touch that stone and we'll wrap it up for today. Yes, oh yeah, life coaches. Not a big fan of life coaches. Self-help books. Again, we gotta make sure we read the right ones, you know? And again, how do you decide which one are the right ones? Only you can decide that for yourself, right? And it's like, does it pass your own bullshit filter? Does the person saying things sound like bullshit? Then maybe it's bullshit, right? Does it smell like bullshit? If it smells like bullshit, it's bullshit. But if you think, hey, you know what, this person have something to say, and whatever he says seems to resonate with me, then cool, go for it. Right, so just make sure we have some form of good judgment and say, you know, we gotta decide, okay, who do we want to listen to, and who is bullshitting us, and of course, never stop being better, never stop improving, and always be a better version of yourself. Don't compare with others, compare with ourselves from yesterday. Are we better than we were yesterday? Yes, fantastic, you're on the right track and doing the right things, and keep at it. Right? Are we not doing better than yesterday? That's fine too. Sometimes shit happens, but let's get back on track. How can we be better? How can we improve ourselves? And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for chatting with me. And hope you have a good day. And leave a comment if you have any thoughts about it. And see you guys next time. Bye.